Today I'm going to be doing another what's in my camera bag video because it has been a little while since my last one and there's been a lot of changes and I don't see many big changes coming in the near future at least, so thought this would be a good time to do one of these. Now I'm going to get to the good stuff next, but first we'll just go through the bag because, you know, everything's in the bag. This is a PGYTech OneMo camera bag and they have come out with a OneMo Mark II or whatever they called it. This is the original. Really quick, I'll go through the features of the outside of the bag, then we'll get in and we'll get right onto the camera stuff. So, on the bag itself, I also have a Peak Design capture clip. Now, I haven't really used this in a while, just because I don't really walk around with my camera out very much at the moment. Usually, if I'm taking it somewhere, I just take everything to the location and then unpack there. But it is handy to have if you just have, you know, one of their plates. The annoying thing is I do use mostly PGYTech plates because I have their snap lock system, but they don't lock into this. And the plate from this doesn't fit in the PGYTech one, even though they're both Arca Swiss and they're both square, it's just slightly different. But that's kind of annoying, but whatever. I always keep a water bottle and my PGYTech Mantis Pod Pro in the side pocket. Now I kind of wish there were two pockets so I could have them in different pockets, and that's why I need to make sure I always have a smaller water bottle so I can fit both, but I can fit both a water bottle and the tripod. This is a pretty good tripod. I haven't actually done a video about it, but I don't know if it really warrants a video, but it's pretty good. Also on the strap right here there is a zippered pocket where I just keep like extra tripod plates, Allen keys, extra NATO rail, and a 10-cent coin, because some things need like a flathead screwdriver sort of thing, and this is an easy, just keep this in here because if I don't have a flathead screwdriver or if I don't have the small rig one that's attached to my cage, then it's there, it's easy, keep that in there. The bag itself has handles on it on the side on there. I don't really use them, I just use it as a backpack or I'll carry it from the top, but it does have 3 pockets on the sides. So on the pocket on this side, I just have like extra stuff, cleaning stuff, pen, microfiber cloth, my little mini USB card reader. Don't really go in that pocket all that much. On the other side are the 2 side access pockets. So they actually open up to the inside of the bag itself, and I'll get to that when we open it up. Alright, we'll start with the exciting stuff because that's what you're all here to see. This is my main camera. Obviously I'm shooting this one on, not this, so that is a Lumix G85. It doesn't stay in here because it doesn't fit anymore. I have too much stuff. This, however, is a Sony a7 IV. I've made multiple videos about this, and honestly most of the equipment in here I've made individual videos about, but I keep the a7 IV with the cage on and the 7200 G Master Mark II attached, mainly because if I don't have it attached, there's not really anywhere for me to put it in the bag because it's so much bigger than my other lenses. So I basically have to keep the lens on to have the configuration that I have it in. So I don't use the sun hood, as you can see, it's right there. It just is too big. It doesn't fit in here very well, and it's just sort of a hassle, so I just don't use it. I never really have, but that's the camera. And now this bag is sort of divided into 2 sections by this like built-in dividing wall that you can fold down out of the way, but then the dividers just doesn't work as well. So I do have it divided in half, and then in that other bottom section here I have basically all my rigging stuff. I have my monitor mount, which is a 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch thread, so the 3/8 inch will go onto a mostly actually one of the holes on the handle here, but there's like 1 or 2 on the cage, and there's also a couple on my other handle, and that's just for my Atomos Ninja 5 wooden small rig top handle. Pretty good, it's okay. NATO rail, so that's why I have the NATO rail on the top of the camera, so this can slide on and off. This can turn around, which can be helpful, especially with the big lens, so that's in there. I have a small rig rotating side handle. I've talked about this before in my camera rig video. Also in here I have my old monitor mount, which is just a small rig monitor mount light. The reason that I got the dual ball head one is because this one just wasn't strong enough to hold up the Atomos Ninja 5 with a 970 battery on reliably. It could hold it, but it would just often just fall. So I got a stronger one. And then I've also got the tripod mount from the lens I keep in here with a PGYTech snap-lock plate already on there. So if I ever need to attach this setup to a tripod, I can just slide it right on, and then it's ready to be put on a tripod. It can go onto my Mantis pod, it could go onto my other tripod, which I have a PGYTech snap-lock adapter on. So it's just really easy to take on and off, so I don't leave it on. It's just sort of in the way, but keep it here in case I need it, which I do sometimes. Alright, so that's pretty much all in the bottom. Now we'll go up to the top compartment, which if we go right up to the top, we have the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. I got this recently in the bundle that I got for the Atomos Ninja 5. I mentioned that in the Atomos Ninja 5 video. Also in that same pocket, I keep my rocket blower. I wish this didn't take up so much room. And then, as you can see, these little cables here, there's a little Velcro pocket that comes with this bag that just sort of like Velcros to any of the walls inside here. And it's just a Velcro close. I just keep sort of extra cables in there. I keep the spare body cap and rear lens cap in there because I always keep one lens on my camera. So I have a spare one there, and then if I ever need to put the body cap on, and then I just have some USB cables in here. Next, we have the Sony 20mm f1.8. This is pretty good lens. I've made a whole video about it. I use it if I ever need any sort of wide angle stuff because my other lenses are not wide angle. So if I'm vlogging, or if I need to be close to the camera, or if I just need to be able to see more, this is it. I still do use the 7200 the most, but this is definitely good to have. This was my first lens I actually got for the Sony, and pretty happy with it. It's just too wide for a lot of things, and I'm just not the biggest fan of wide angle lenses at the moment, so I don't know. And then the other lens I have right now is the 85mm 1.8 from Sony. This is the older non-G Master anything. It's just 1.8. The only things on it are the custom button and the manual focus autofocus switch. It's still pretty decent for what it is though, although I'm thinking I might actually sell this at some point soon because I don't really need it because I have the 7200 and it's a good 7200. It's the G Master 2.8 Mark II, so the only reason I would need this is if I need it to be, if I need a smaller telephoto lens, like if I was running it on a gimbal, or if I for some reason need the 1.8 over the 2.8. But what I'm thinking I might do is when I get my next lens, which I'm thinking is going to be a 50mm, that's probably when I'll sell this. Alright, so that's all my lenses. Now let's get on to the monitor. I keep the Atomos Ninja 5 in this configuration with a battery attached and the SSD on there, ready to go, so all I need to do is mount it and plug it in. Talked about the Atomos Ninja 5 at length in a few short videos and one long video, so I'm not going to talk about it too much there, but I also do keep a spare NPF 970 battery in there as well. Now I've never needed both of these batteries on one shoot, but it is good to have two, so then when I get home, I can chuck one on charge and then put the other one right in to the monitor, and then if I do need to use it, it's there. And then that's pretty much it, except I have one last compartment with stuff in it, and it's basically all the small things that just sort of fit together. So I have a Lexar CF Express Type A and SD card reader, so, and its cable. Now this cable is pretty cool because it has USB-C to USB-A, but then you can just take the USB-A off and it's USB-C to USB-C. So that's handy depending on what computer you're plugging into. So that's in there, and that allows me to get all the speed out of the CF Express Type A card that I do have. Also in here, I keep my Rode Wireless Go 2, nice and compact, just sort of fits in there. I use this fairly regularly. I would be using it for this video for backup audio, but because it's in here, I'm obviously not going to use that. That's why I didn't film this video on my better camera. Also in here, we have the adapter for the SSDs for the Ninja. It's just a SATA to USB-C cable, and then I have a USB-C to USB-A adapter as well if I need USB-A. This particular one also has a little DC tail as well. I don't need that because I don't think any modern SSDs really need that power. I have another SSD. This is a 500 gigabyte Samsung 870 EVO 2.5 inch SSD, just in the Atomos Caddy that comes with the Ninja 5. Now, because I have the Atom X1 from Angelbird, I don't really use this, but it is good to just have a spare SSD if I ever need to back something up. I have 500 gigs right here, or if I do, for some reason, need more than 500 gigs or don't want to format that other SSD, I have another 500 gigs right here. And then the last thing in here is just my little card case. Now, because I have most of my actual cards in cameras, literally the only card in here is one 4 gigabyte hella slow SD card from like 15 years ago. So I don't actually really use this because all my cards are in cameras and I don't have any spare cards. But when I do get spare cards, they're gonna go in here. Alright, and then I also do have sort of a spare pocket right here, but I like having the spare compartment because it does have that side access, so I can access it directly from the side, so I don't need to open the whole bag. And usually I'll just I'll chuck extra stuff that I'm carrying in there. Like if I need to chuck my sunglasses in there or my keys or something, if I'm going somewhere, like if I'm taking this to work, and then I'll just chuck all my stuff in there, or maybe I'll chuck a snack in there or something like that. It's just an easy access to spare storage. Now, if I get something else that needs to take up that space, then I guess I'll just stop doing that and I have to do something else. Now, there's a couple other little pockets inside here. In that spare compartment where that side access was is where I keep my HDMI cables. I have a coiled Condor Blue cable and I think this is about a 30 something centimeter small rig cable. So I just keep them there. They're just in a pocket. It's actually an RFID blocking pocket as well. And then in the back down where I have the camera on the side access pocket, there are 3 little battery slots that I keep my spare Z100 batteries in. I only have 1 spare battery for the Sony right now, but there are 3 spots in here. One of them I do also keep a phone charger, just like a wall adapter. So if I ever just need to plug anything into the wall or a power board, then I have this here, and it's actually a very similar size to the batteries, so it fits reasonably well in there. So that's the entire main portion of the bag. On the sort of lid, there is a laptop sleeve. So in there, obviously if I did need to take a laptop anywhere, I could just slide it in there, but for the most part, in there I just keep a spare SSD, just a notebook, and I also keep a longer HDMI cable. So this is just a 1.8 meter or something like that HDMI cable that I already had that I wasn't using, so I thought I'd just keep it in the bag, even though I have the short ones for the Atomos. Can't hurt to have an extra one, or if I need to maybe do the throughput from the Atomos out to something else, like a TV or a monitor, then I can use this. And one other pretty cool thing about this bag is it actually comes with a little shoulder bag that not only fits inside it, so if you want to, for some reason, put a bag in a bag, I don't know why you would, because it just sort of takes up more room, but it's also just its own separate bag. You know, it comes with a strap, it's got loops and everything. You can either strap it different ways, or I think you can even hook it to the bag itself. And this top part is expandable. I don't have much in there at the moment, but I basically use this as my behind the scenes bag, or it's the camera bag for my second camera. And it's mostly empty right now, but I have my spare lens because I have 2 lenses for this camera. Then underneath this, because these bags come with these little foldable partitions, so you can sort of make 2 different sections, like one underneath, fold that down, put something on top of it, which is pretty handy. So underneath, usually I'll put the charger for the batteries, then I'll put the lens on top of here, camera's in there, then I have this little compartment here that I just put the spare battery and the spare lens and body cap as well. So that's sort of how I use this bag right now, as like a BTS bag. When my maybe if my BTS sort of gear grows, maybe I'll go to my old Lowepro camera bag, which is a backpack, but it's much smaller than the Onemo. And then I also just have a couple cables and stuff in here that came with the G85. In here I keep the G85 with 1 lens on and the Rode VideoMic Go 2. So that is now basically my like secondary mic, my BTS mic, or the mic for this camera, depending on how I'm using and what other mics I'm using. But first choice for most things will be to use the VideoMic Pro Plus. And then if I'm already using that with another camera, or like this video, if it's in the video, then I'll go to the VideoMic Go 2. So that'll be all for this one. Thank you for watching. This video right here is last year's What's in My Camera Bag, so you can see sort of how my gear has changed in the last, I think it'd be probably about 8 or 9 months. Don't forget to do all of the things down there as well. Go watch that video, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.